Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to Google Drive. The objectives of this video are to teach you to create and move folders, organize your Drive properly, and navigate through Drive. But first, what is Google Drive? It is a cloud-based system for storing and sharing files online. Now, basically what that means is that it is a place to store all of your files online or through the web. Now, switching over to Drive, we can get a little familiar with the layout. If we start up in the top right corner where my mouse is focused, you see we can change the views. We can go from a grid view to a list view. We can also view details, settings, and if we click on a file, it gives us some more options. So you can just go through and hover and you can see that this shares, deletes, and gets a shareable link. Now if we slide over to the left side of the screen, you see we have New, which allows us to create new files and folders. And then we have My Drive, Shared with Me, which is files that have been shared with you, obviously. We have Recent, your photos, starred, trash, and backups. Now backups and computers, you will have to set up separately, which is a little more advanced, so we're going to stick with some of the basic stuff. Before we get too far into it, I want you to go ahead and open Google Drive, look through your drive, and just kind of get familiar with the different sections you have and just everything within your drive. And while you're in there, I want you to change it from the grid view to the list view. So go ahead and pause and do that, then come back to the video. All right, now that you've got a little familiar with navigating through Drive, let's go ahead and start going through the process of organizing it. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new folder. Now, for example, let's start with just our grade level. So we'll go with 6th grade. And we hit create. Now what we can do with this folder is we can change the color. Now currently we only have 2 folders, so changing the colors doesn't do too much, but imagine if we have 10 folders, the colors might help us distinguish between all the gray on the screen. Now let's go ahead and go inside of that 6th grade folder, and let's say we make a folder for one of our classes. So let's make a folder for Google First Hour. We went ahead and did that, but let's say we want to organize it a little differently, so we need to rename it. So instead of Google First Hour, we right-click on it, and we want to rename it First Hour Google. That way, when we add more classes, it'll keep it in order based on the hour of the day. Now moving back into My Drive, let's say we do end up with 10 or so folders within Drive, but the 6th grade folder is probably going to be our most important folder. So what we can do is we can right-click on it and add a star to this folder. What that means is that it's made this a very important folder because we can access it directly through starred. For example, in my personal Google Drive, I have a couple folders starred that I can access quickly. Next, let's go into the 6th grade and then into the Google folder. Let's pretend that I assign you a partner project later that requires you to share a folder with a classmate. So I'll name this partner project and then I'll show you how to share it. Create. And we can share it a couple of ways. We can either go through and get a shareable link, which would allow us to maybe email the person this link and they can access the folder that way, or we can just share directly with the person and we can type in their name and either allow them to view the folder, so the contents of the folder, or they can organize, add, and edit anything within the folder. So that's the 2 ways that we can go ahead and share it. Now that we've covered the basics of folder creation and organization, go ahead and take another moment, pause, and I want you to create a 6th grade folder or if you're in 7th or 8th grade, a folder for those classes. Then create a folder for each of your classes inside of it. The name of the class should be the hour you have it, name of class, and teacher name. Change the color of all of your classes and star the 6th grade folder so you can find it easily. Go ahead and pause, and you can do that right now. Now that you've completed that part of the assignment, we're going to look at moving and deleting files. So I went ahead and created this practice docs document, and we're going to go ahead and move it into our Google folder. So to move it, we can right-click on it, move to, and then we'll have to navigate through 6th grade and put it in the first hour Google folder. So move here. Now we see that it's been moved into our Google folder. We can do a couple of other things. Now that we have the file where we want it, we can look at a couple of other things. So if we right-click on it, we can preview the file. We can open it. Say if this was a Word document, we could open it with a Google Docs. We can download it, view details to see when it was created, who has edited it, and who it has been shared with. And then we can star the file, rename it, just like we could with a folder. What I want to do with it is delete it because it was just practice. So we can do that a couple of ways also. We can right-click and remove it. We can click on it and remove it from up here. Or on the Chromebook, we can hit Alt Backspace. So let's go ahead and delete that file. You have officially made it to the last step in the process of learning the basics of Google Drive. You're going to pause the video right before it ends so you can still read these directions. What I want you to do is inside of the Google folder you created, I want you to make 4 more folders called Docs, Slides, Sheets, and Other. Move anything you have saved in Drive for this class currently into Other. As we move forward, we will begin using all of the other folders, but for now they should remain empty. Delete or move all other files in your Google Drive. That way you can get organized and keep it organized moving forward. Thank you.